Over 115 million animals worldwide are killed in laboratory experiments. Today I will address the various causes and effects of animal abuse. Cruelty can range from simple acts like not feeding your dog to yelling at them to killing or physically abusing them. Animal abuse has a major impact on the well-being of animals and how that affects society. Various conditions and living environments can lead to the voluntary and involuntary abuse of animals. Raising animals as humans, mirroring other parenting skills, isolation, and the use of animals for research or fashion leads to animal abuse and the need for animal rights. Raising exotic animals such as chimpanzees as human children causes the animal to not experience their lives in the correct environment. Raising animals the way humans are raised can cause sudden outbursts by the animal. We cannot change the way animals act in certain situations. Travis the chimpanzee was raised as a human. He was even introduced to the media via commercials for Old Navy and Coca-Cola. Travis was raised as a human animal, and was raised as a human, and he lived with Sandra Harold since he was 3 years old. When a friend of Sandra's visited, he attacked her, leaving her blind. Travis the chimpanzee was killed for acting like the large, powerful, and social creature he is. This case shows that wild animals should never be kept as a pet. Keeping animals such as a chimpanzee in a constricted environment is inhumane and will cause injury and death. Although Sandra believed she was providing Travis with a good life, chimpanzees need to run around and have space to grow. They also need to live with other chimpanzees, which can lead to another cause of animal abuse. The isolation of animals, just like the isolation of people, causes the development of various mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety, and even schizophrenia. When 24 male rats were isolated, they soon showed signs of hyperactivity. This study showed the danger of isolation. When animals are isolated at such an early age, they can develop mental illnesses and growth problems. Animals are also isolated in zoos. When animals are kept in an ill-managed zoo and circuses, they can become excessively sad, anxious, or even traumatized. The isolation of animals produces many dangers. When they are not kept in the right environment and they have no space to grow or learn, they risk developing mental illnesses. Although these acts may be voluntary, it makes us wonder what causes us to abuse animals. Animals such as Travis or circus animals are often used in advertisement, research studies, fashion, and makeup. Leslie Bulgodes addresses animal rights in her TED Talk, and she also addresses why we feel the need to hurt one another. She states that research projects are not charged for animal abuse because the public is convinced that these projects are humane. Images for how food is made and the use of animals in the fashion industry are often kept from the public. Since we are kept from these conditions, we deny the fact that industries can cause the death of animals. More than 50 million animals are violently killed for use in fashion every year. The use of animals in various industries are growing, therefore the death of animals is also increasing. The abuse of animals in industries, homes, and the isolation affects society and the safety of millions of animals around the world. The most massive and dreadful effect of abuse on animals is death. Many animals, such as elephants who are endangered, are confined and mistreated in zoos. Elephants are considered an endangered species, and yet they're still mistreated in circuses and various zoos. The living environment of animals is crucial to their well-being, and that goes for humans as well. In May 2016, 2 lions were shot and killed when a man entered their enclosure, removed his clothes, and began to taunt him. The lions then mauled him and tried to drag them back to their cage, and they were shot for that. These lions were killed for not acting calm when a man came and taunted them. These animals were defending themselves and demonstrating natural animal qualities. These facts and examples also introduce the effects of isolation and how the public can be affected. The isolation and abuse of animals can result in psychological disorders, emotional pain, and lifelong fear. The dangers of abuse and the causes and effects are the same for both animals and humans. Although we do not always realize that animals can demonstrate pain because they do not show physical signs, animals do suffer psychological pain. Even though the bruises will leave, the emotional pain and anxiety will stay with the animal and human for the whole life. Living with abuse and watching abuse can cause you to become an abuser of animals or humans. The abuse of animals does not just damage the animal, but it impacts society as a whole. By hurting household pets inhumanely, it sends a message that the abuse of a human could be next. When a child watches their parent hurt their animals, they might begin to pick up this violent act as well. They're just mirroring what their parents do. Children who witness such abuse are 3 times more likely to abuse animals and to play a role in an abusive relationship later in life. Abuse is a chain effect. Once you start, it's very likely that you will continue to hurt others. Over the course of my speech, I have addressed how raising animals as humans, isolation, and the use of animals in the fashion and makeup industry can cause injury and death. The effect of death, emotional pain, and watching others abuse animals affects society as a whole. Although it may not seem like it, the abuse of animals affects society and the well-being of animals and people.